Anyway.
Alright. Let's see. Does this one have SCPs connected to it? 1. Alright. Logos Inc. In the 1990s, as a result of negotiations between the SCP Foundation and Global Coalition, a project branded Logos was created as an enterprise to deal with anomalous events having psychological and large-scale social impact that can change the way of human life and or the human consciousness. As the Global Coalition grew in power, it developed an independent doctrine of dealing with anomalies, with destruction being the first and foremost objective, completely against the Foundation's interest. In the turmoil of the active confrontation that followed, Logos Inc. was left unattended, as it was considered a low-priority project by the time. This turned out to be a mistake. During the period of independence, spanning at least redacted years, the new GOIs' priorities underwent a major change. They switched their focus to their own scientific progress in the fields of medicine, IT, psychology, and applied the use of technologies they developed. I thought it was going to go in a different direction. Wait, what is the critter profile? Oh, the critter profile is Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. Oh my gosh, it's an animal. I just heard an Xbox sound.
What? That was not an Xbox sound. That was me coughing.
Oh. I apparently got a message from random fucker on Xbox. Alright, so technically this isn't. It is an SCP, but it's called a critter profile instead. Alright. A name Shigastan, species Equus first Sabalis. Or Cabalis? AK horse. Primary caretaker Wellington Garrett Wonderhouse. Terrestrial team medium animal section horse specialist. Diet fodder hay hard but sweet veggies grass. He loves eating this in his meadow. House stable number 17. Shigastan's the name of one of the more peculiar horses we tend to. As for why it's called Shigastan, I'll explain later. What's so strange about Shigastan? An excellent question, my dear Watson. Of course, since July 12th incident, the world is abundantly full of the bizarre. Our own little shelter has been in the limelight too, receiving many large donations and 5 times the amount of requests as before. Honestly, it's not all bad, thanks to the support we have branded to Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. We're still expanding, and we have opened our doors to find talented people like Mr. Wellington. We're still looking to find such a person, though I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't surprised to see his horse face at the interview. Besides our overall goal remains the same, we take care of and care for and protect our critters enthusiastically. Back to explanation. You wouldn't be able to pick out Shigastan's quirk just by looking at him. He is skinnier than most horses you see, though still what makes him stand out from the rest are his super senses. Shigastan is very good at finding hidden things. Just as an example, Fizzy, another critter of ours, is very good at moving around without being seen, but Shigastan can find her with ease. It appears that Shigastan's talented works with things that people near him want to find. Why, when Needle got lost in a haystack a little while ago, I told him and he immediately found it. He seems like he's always ready to help. Apparently his talent can also work on people, so if you got a ninja you need caught, just ask Shigastan.
Aww.
So
I
it's
love
just...
Shigastan.
Oh my god. So Shigastan is just an SCP horse that just tries to help find things.
Yeah, it just finds, just like, ask them where something went and they go get it. Shigastan is a good being.
There is only good about that horse.
Anyone who tries to bring harm to Shigastan gets the ceramic dragon off.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it helped give aid to multiple groups. The Mandible Charitable Foundation, the Red Cross, the Institute for Human Education Development, Doctors Without Borders, and the Engelbert Corporation, etc., which means there was more.
We need to make a category that's just for Shigistan. Right? Add Shigistan to the list. We're
He's-
ranking Shigistan.
Would they
You're,
be chaotic good? Would they be like
you're she's
lawful
not
good?
a fucking group of interest. It's an anomaly.
I don't care.
I don't care that you don't care. Alright.
I would
I mean-
place Shigistan in probably neutral good.
What are you talking
That's fair. They want to help everyone.
Oh.
But they're
Oh,
not
no.
particularly chaotic. Now,
Oh.
if they were like a goose, I'd put them in chaotic good. But they're a horse.
Yeah, so basically we
Why'd you
got...
say no, no, no?
Because first one we looked at is a pretty good anomaly. Then we get this. Notice from a Memetic and Informational Threats Division, document contains a dangerous destructive memetic agent. Personnel must familiarize themselves with the Protect UA-54 protective memetic agent before proceeding. Make sure you have it analgesic containing whatever that acid is in the immediate vicinity.
Okay.
Oh.
Someone had a little bit of fun with Photoshop.
And it's a Keter, why am I surprised? Oh, what does the message say? Oh, it actually did translate it. Alright, in footnote 1, the fictional map such as territory has never existed and never will in Ukraine. Census in the Russian Empire in 1897, there are no Ukrainians. Sikorsky and Bolhavkov confirmed that Ukrainians is a fictional nation and Ukrainia's population knew who they are and where they live. Oh no. Oh no.
Wait, you didn't read all of it.
Oh, right. Sorry. Original grammar kept. Ukraine is a term consistent to Ukraine, usually used pejoratively, and originating from a theory that links Ukraine's toponymic to that word, an outskirt periphery borderland. Oh. I already don't like. I'm already getting a bad idea of this SCP. SCP-054-UA is a destructive memetic agent of selective action that can be transmitted in audio, visual, and audio-visual formats. The memetic agent mostly targets marginalized populations and elderly, except for those whose views can be described as lying within the ideologies of radical Ukrainian nationalism. 054-UA has a cumulative effect, and its destructive influence is directly proportional to the duration of the exposure. As a result, negation of the object's effects and treatment of the affected individuals become more complicated over time. Although the external manifestation of the 054-UA infection may vary slightly depending on the individual's views, it generally follows an established scenario of 3 stages of infection. First stage lasts from a week to a month. The infected individual begins to actively search all available sources for the information related to the narratives that describe the political and social system of the Ukrainian state as radical right, systemically discriminating and violating the rights of the Russian-speaking population, and links the Ukrainian people to Nazi collaboration during the World War II. Okay. For example, the following formulations are common. Fascists and banderites oppress Russians in Ukraine. The West constitutes Gayrope and Pendosia, pejorative Russian terms referring to Europe and USA respectively. What the fuck? At the end of the first stage, a subject begins to visit internet resources with pro-Ukrainian, or in case of sufficient knowledge of the language, pro-Western information, and leave their provocative comments engaging in so-called trolling. A type of communicational approach aimed at provoking emotional reaction from the recipients and inciting conflict.
Oh my god.
What?
This is a fucking memetic agent that makes hyper Russia simps.
Yep.
I.e., well, the term tanky is a bit more broad, but my first thought would be to use the word tanky. But even then, like, tanky tends to refer to left-leaning people, so it just doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Wait, no, right. This is like trying to, yeah. So yeah, it's just like a pro-Russia tanky making memetic agent. Great.
Yeah, and this is just the first stage.
Ugh.
Interruption of the exposure at this stage and subsequent intensive memetic therapy has demonstrated efficiency in 88% of cases, leading to complete neutralization of 054UA and return of the affected to normal life. Second stage lasts from 2 to 6 months. The affected individual refuses any alternative sources of information other than the state-controlled media and radically pro-Russian internet resources. It has been observed that this is where 054UA is most actively distributed. In addition, new narratives appear among the infected subjects, supplementing the existing ones. Russian people are the chosen people. Oh my god. All surrounding countries are indebted to us as we have created it. What the fuck? The world is held together by the special spirit. Julius Russia. I can't even finish reading it.
Yeah, so yeah, so it really does just like it creates pro-Russia tankies that very rapidly devolve into fascists, which has no relevance in how those sorts of people act in reality.
Yeah. These narratives, together with those that prevailed at the first stage, the affected individual tries to spread to as large an audience as possible. To do this, they use appropriate reasoning, which, however, is mainly based on pseudo-scientific theories and unreliable sources. Towards the middle of the second stage, the subject appears uncompromising and rejecting of all alternative ideas. The symptom is actively progressing and reaches its peak in the third stage. Interruption of the exposure at this stage, combined with intensive memetic therapy, showed efficacy in 41% of cases. Ooh. Third stage, maximum duration not detected. Affected person goes from agitation to active actions, mental and physical attacks on people with an alternative point of view. At this stage, it is useless to engage in any discussions with -1, trying to prove errors in their judgments, because in any case, the infected eventually turns into personal insults. The following is added to the list of narratives. I can't read these. Oh
Wait,
my god.
Wait, why have we not been having me read all of these translations?
Alright, you read the translations.
Bolton is gold. It's just the thieves are stationed at the local level.
Oh my god.
Russia has to gather all its former lands. All crimes of the Russian dictatorships of the past are lies spread by the West. Russia is surrounded by enemies who are doing everything to destroy it, make our lives worse, and all in all are guilty of everything. Guilty of everything.
Everything.
Oh my god. Anyways, in long-lasting cases, sometimes the idea of
Russians are the oh. Russians are the descendants of Aryans who must fight against the Judeo-Mace.
They appear with such derivatives as that of Russian and Sanskrit being the same language and so on. However, people with this case history are considered insane, even among other infected, and as a result, they gather in small but particularly aggressive groups. Interruption of the exposure and mimetic therapy have not shown efficiency in the treatment of individuals in whom the infection has developed to the third stage. Okay, object's origin. Object's origin, there are sustained suspicions. See,
Substantiated suspicions.
Substantiated suspicions that the object was commissioned by Huh?
Why did you skip over the footnote?
Because it just says see Dr. Yakim's comment.
Oh, okay.
Commissioned by the government of the Russian Federation from Logos Corporation in collaboration with one of the departments of the Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, possibly the Federal Agency for Anomalous Supervision, in order to strengthen its ideological control over both its own population and citizens of other countries who sympathize with the ideological concepts of the so-called Russian world. Oh my god. The Russian world is a geopolitical and ideological concept that considers the Russian Federation as a civilization center for the Eastern Slavs and the Eastern Slavs themselves as part of a single Russian people. It is usually combined with the desire to restore Russian power over the territories of the former Russian Empire. Available data suggests that the first version of the agent was launched in February 2014, and a final modern version has been released in June of that year. The Department of Mimetics Informational Threats has also confirmed repeated adjustments to its action, which may dictate monitoring of its effectiveness by the developers and ongoing support for its work.
Wait, hold on. Give me a second. I need to search that date real quick.
I'll be back. I gotta pee.
Okay. Is that when, like, Russia invaded Ukraine?
In February and March of 2014, Russia invaded the Crimea Peninsula, part of Ukraine.
Oh my
and then
god!
Annexed it. I had a feeling I needed to remind myself, but yes, that is.
Alright, we should probably see the comment since it was mentioned earlier.
Did you say to continue without them?
We don't know because Yuri's gone.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. So basically, this group of interest created a really good one and a really awful one.
We've got helper horse that goes and find things for you, and the brain rot of hyper Russian nationalism. We're gonna have to look at. Wasn't there one more SCP?
It was a story.
Oh, it's a story. Well, it's not too long. I'd say we're gonna have to read that because.
I'm unsure whether or not to put it neutral or evil.
Well, I hope that story will give us the means to push it over the edge one way or the other.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was not prepared for this. I thought, oh, this is a kind horse. That means, oh yeah, this other SCP, it's gonna be nice and kind of no. So yeah, so Logos Corporation,
Question mark.
yeah.
Taken off.
Gotcha.
I heard a distant Jerry sound, and I thought, oh, I guess Jerry's back.
Alright,
A bison.
so Dr. Yakim's message, my comment on 054 UA and its connection to PAX Russia. Although in no way I am a specialist in this field, but I'll share my opinion. 054 UA, or Father Bandera, a song popular among ranks of the Ukrainian insurgent army, a Ukrainian political military organization active in the middle XX century. As has been clearly nicknamed by our employees, is an interesting fruit. All of you are aware of my past and my employment prior to the Foundation. I am not saying that this meme is from those times, as it would be untrue, but I cannot help but note that this is using the same principles and only slightly reworked narratives. Circle of enemies, the government is always right. We are the last place of peace and spirituality, standing against the decaying West. No one spreads lies about us. All these principles have been known back in Stalin's days, and are being actively propagated even now. After all, independently of the territory or environment, propaganda can't change its nature, which is expressed in attempts to form public opinion, influence people's emotions, and will incline them to certain actions. That name, propaganda. Oh, this is just the person who wrote that. Oh, okay. That sentence. That's a lot of Russian words. So, why are we surprised? If the old ways worked well, then why reinvent the wheel? Apparently, the FSSRF threw the same way when launching these agents. However, I must say that it was done either by a genius or a complete idiot. All because 054UA is fully compatible with old Soviet agents and works right with them in a team. Have you ever wondered why 054UA is so effective against retirees? This could be called a negligence by the developer who did not even bother to change the principle of operation, but everything points to the fact that the agent was specifically selected for this purpose. Combined with the remnants of Soviet idea,
You got cut off there.
God damn it. I hate Discord. Alright. This could be called negligence by the developer, who did not even bother to change the principle of operation, but everything points to the fact that the agent was specifically selected for this purpose. Combined with the remnants of Soviet ideas and agents, it gained such power that... How the fuck you say that?
All bells.
Go Bells would give a standing applause. Diffuse communism, orthodoxy, Tsarism, nationalism, chauvinism, militarism, and desire for peace, in some cases, Nazism and fascism, to call it by the vague term, the Russian world, and give it to people. An outside observer first thought would be, how could anyone believe this? However, competent work and well-set narratives perfectly accomplish their task, creating a viable ideology for this Frankenstein monster. The question now is whether it will live long enough without over the 4UA. From the Senior Scientific Officer of Paranormal and Occult Anomalies Union, Director of Site UA-16, Professor Dr. Habil redacted Yakim. Okay, so that's 054UA. So I had just said we should do the story, which is low priority.
We've got one amazingly good SCP, followed by an absurdly awful SCP.
Alright, so low priority. Lights in the room flickered ominously. Right after that, a sequence repeated many times by the personnel could be heard. Pressing of a button, the key turning, voltage dropping, a shattering light bulb, and then an electric arc shooting out of the coil. An abomination that only resembled a person due to the humanoid shape of the burned mass of tendons and muscles gave its last breath and fell, vomiting all over the glass wall in front of it. 2 people in CWKS protection suits took the body and started to clean the glass from the anomaly's toxic vomit. Dr. Ivan Karayenko started to mindlessly note the results from another trial. His fellow researchers helplessly turned the documentation pages and stared at the indicators, searching for the answer to one simple question: what did we do wrong? As a matter of fact, it was a success, since the CN-18 test subject lasted longer than any of his brothers. But even a recorded breaking score of keeping the thing alive for 4 days, it was not enough to justify the wasted resources. The 3 researchers left the test chamber and sat by a living room table, trying to comprehend why was this trial just another failure. We're just wasting people. It was the 10th time and we still didn't do a fucking thing. I even looked over the plans and everything should be working perfectly, without fail, like effing clockwork. He looked around and he lit his cigarette, the cheapest possible brand. That's not what he expected when he joined the Logos project 7 years ago. Not that he missed anything back in the Foundation, he saw people die even more horribly, but here all the deaths just seemed so unnecessary. We have some progress, friend, progress. This time it lasted 4 days, said the ever-cheerful Boris Smirnovich. Soon enough, we will be able to make a successful trial. Fuck this life. Snarl, Mikhail said, we're sitting in this fuckhole waiting for another storm to fuck up some other... Oh my god. I didn't read the full sentence. I didn't know I was gonna have to say that. So they were using, crippled people for this.
Let's just
Oh,
continue.
Yeah, sorry. Calm down, friend. They just need to show them the proof of our progress, Boris sighed audibly. Ivan was lost in thought, didn't even react when the cigarette burned his fingers. He just threw the butt in the corner and left the living room without a word. Well then, how about a round of backgammon, dear friend? Boris tried to clear the air after the main researcher left. Go ahead, you already lost. Moved. Mikhail pointed to the bottle. Pull off. What are you waiting for? In the meantime, 2 floors down in the control room, there was another test subject repair. Check his blood volume. The brain needs to work. What are you doing? Give me that. How many fucking times do I have to say this? We sew the bones along the diagram. What the fuck are you even doing here? A short man in a GP9 gas mask and a lab coat bellowed at the trainees. Keep up the oxygen levels. The oxygen, you idiot. Good, now remove the debris. Ready? Lock him up. Administer the antibiotics. And if you don't, my wrath will be the last thing you'll ever have to worry about. This evening, no one thought of a similar facility just a few kilometers away. The storm made it impossible to maintain communication, and if it wasn't for that, maybe 28 researchers wouldn't be bleeding their organs out through their whole-ridden bodies. Maybe then someone will be able to cut off the supply of nourishment formula to the artificially created spinal cord swimming around in a big pool. Maybe then the spinal cord wouldn't be able to do the thing it planned for so long. Do it. You're free. The first was the unfortunate trainee who administered consciousness blocking medicine. His eyeballs just leaked out of his socket. The next victim was a screaming doctor, his mask catching fire that quickly spread to his hair, skin charring the bones and brain. The unnatural creature stood up, crushing the nearby youth from his unnatural four-boned hand. Another 2 died of the mental impulse so strong it broke their necks. The newborn monster began its hunt. The situation was was just about the same in all buildings of the Logos project in 90-kilometer radius. Neither the Foundation nor the Global Cult Initiative were very eager to waste their time and resources on this freak of nature. So, tell me what's so important that I have to come all the way here? Asked the mustached negotiator. We received news of possible containment breach, or however you call it. The other negotiator responded, dressed in a standard GOC uniform. Is it about the CN containment block? One investigating the aftermath of the 1986 catastrophe. The very same. We still don't have the reports about possible loss of personnel, but Mustache Man interrupted him. Everything's fine there. That's not our problem. We're on brink of public conflict. We can't bother ourselves with any freak of nature. Oh, well, then let's inform the command at least. Helplessness of the uniformed man was apparent. There's no need. We unofficially already closed the Logos project, so leave it to a specialist. The Foundation representative left the room, leaving the other negotiator alone. Dr. Mikhail Zandarinov, burned by toxic vomit with his brain festered by psychological decay, without his legs and half the jaw. He survived. No one expected that it would be possible, let alone a pessimistic knock of genetic engineering from psionic department. Unlike his colleagues, he managed to reach the maintenance shaft and hide in a conservation tub. After 4 hours, a containment squad reached the facility, but not the Foundations, not the GOC, but an independent group of interest, Logos Inc. Senderenov became the first commander. No one could know more about the human psyche than a man whose body and mind were completely changed by mental impulse. Okay then.
I'm feeling a tentative fucking chaotic evil. Or maybe neutral evil.
Yeah, I can see neutral evil. What about you, Jerry?
Either one is fine as long as it's evil.
Like they created very good horse, and then they created Russian nationalism and some monstrosity that killed a bunch of people.
The horse does
Yeah.
not make up for the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with neutral evil. Wait, Wait, we only have one Russian branch so far that has been immediately put in the evil category.
Yeah. Again, did you notice the ratio of goods to evils in the previous one as
Yeah.
well? This is to be expected.